What's up, everybody? My name is Lee, and today we're going to work on some pulled pork and some country-style coleslaw. Let's get to it. This is Cooking with Style. Let's grab our ingredients for our dry rub. Chili powder, kosher salt, black pepper, ground cumin, Italian seasoning, smoked paprika, dry mustard, cayenne pepper, granulated garlic, granulated sugar, and granulated onion. Now here comes the hardest part of this entire recipe. Go ahead and take all of your dry ingredients and mix them together in a larger bowl and incorporate them thoroughly, and there you have it. You have a spice rub. Now it's time to have some fun. Let's go ahead and fabricate up this pork shoulder. Now you're not going to want to remove all of the fat. Needless to say, you do need some fat for moisture, but you want to try and remove some of the top cap fat because that stuff doesn't render very easily and it's very fibrous. Now in this case, you don't want to actually break it down muscle by muscle, but you do want to cut it into about a little bit smaller than fist size portions, so about 4 to 5 inch cubes. That way it'll cook it a lot more even and your cooking time will get cut in half. Well, that was fun. Now that we got to play with our sharp object for the video, let's go ahead and hit it with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and let's toss in our dry seasoning. And what you want to do is you want to evenly coat it. You don't have to go bananas with it because then it'll get too strong, but by all means coat it up pretty evenly and then reserve the rest of the dry rub because we're going to use it later. Let's go ahead and get that pork covered up and thrown into the refrigerator for at least 2 to 3 hours, but if you like, I personally like to take it overnight. That way you get really good penetration into the meat of that spice mixture. Well, hello there, beautiful marinated pork. Let's go ahead and put you into a cooking facilitator. In other words, in my case, I'm using a Le Creuset baking pan. Then we're going to hit it with a little bit of magic. Simple thing is, it's just apple cider, about 1/3 of a cup. You don't want to go too crazy, you don't want it to braise, but you want to add a little bit extra moisture, and the apple flavor is always good. Cover it up and throw it into a 350 degree oven, and just basically forget about it for a little while. Well, now that our pork's in the oven, let's go ahead and start on our southern coleslaw. We need some green cabbage, some radicchio, our pork dry rub that we made earlier, pineapple, mayonnaise, orange bell pepper, and some apple cider vinegar. And if you want it sweet, you can add some granulated sugar at the end as well. Now I hope you still have your trusty sharp object because it's time to prep some veggies. And once again, we're back with bell peppers. All you have to do is go ahead and clean and devein them, and then you're going to julienne them. In other words, a 1/8 inch slice all the way across and reserve them off to the side in a bowl. Now moving on to our radicchio. In this case it was a pretty sizable head, so all I wanted to do was use a half. But you want to make sure to cut it in half, and you want to cut out that inner core because obviously you're not going to want to use that, and then finally shred it. And hey, you guessed it, we're going to do the same exact thing with the green cabbage. Take out the core, turn it on its side, and finally shred that as well and add that into the party. So now I had previously already prepped up some pineapple. All I'm going to do is cut it into about 1/4 inch dice and add that into the bowl. So now that we've got everybody in the bowl ready to go, let's go ahead and add our mayonnaise, our apple cider vinegar, and season it to taste with your pork dry rub. Don't go too nuts, remember it has cayenne in it. But at this time also, if you want to go ahead and add some sugar to sweeten it up, go right ahead. One step is good to go and done. Go ahead and bowl it up, put it in the refrigerator, and wait to taste it a little bit later. Now the beauty of this, you want to let it sit in the refrigerator for a couple of hours while your pork is cooking. That way all those flavors get to marry. And if you'd like to, season it with just a little bit more of that pork dust. It's a happy day when that happens because you get a little bit of pop from the spice in your first bite. 3 hours later. So after 3 short hours, I think we reached the finish line. Wait till you see this pull apart. So succulent, so simple. You basically forgot about it for 3 hours, and look what you got. Let's get ready to toss this up and make some pulled pork. Now what's the simplest way that you can finish this while you're pulling it, you ask? How about a little bit more of that pork dust? Yeah, that sounds good. And why don't you go ahead and hit it with your favorite barbecue sauce. Not too much, you don't want to go nuts, you still want to have the nice rich pork flavor. Now in my case, what I'm utilizing is one of my apple barbecue sauces that, wait a minute, I made that in a previous video. Let me put that in the link right up above, so that way you can check that out as well. Just keep mixing away with a set of tongs, so that way you break that pork up and it shreds evenly. And we're going to go to plate. Holy cow, pulled pork with lime crema and more barbecue sauce? Could it get any better? I think it can. Yep, you guessed it. Time to make a composed, delicious sandwich. All we gotta do is, oh wait, did I utilize a local potato roll? I did. Let's hit it with that fresh pulled pork. Let's top it off with that delicious creamy slaw that you made earlier. A little bit more of the lime crema and a little bit of more barbecue sauce. And make your mouth happy. And don't forget, your belly's going to thank you later. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and don't forget to hit that subscribe and smash that like button. Once again, this has been Cooking with Style.